Okay, I will give you a few minutes to write those down, what's up on the board, and we will be going over them shortly. Those? Okay. Well, then why don't you have it out as we go over them then?
I have that, so. The Pentagon. Yep. Nine's not
For now, yes. Enjoying our time out here?
I honestly don't know why you sent me.
Where's your phone?
It's up in the chart.
Okay, well, why don't you show it to me then?
I already know. Is it in this one? Okay. There you go. Oh, good old
Okay.
Cummins turbo diesel right there.
Remember I said, is that just a case in your pocket? And you. Okay, so we got to continue to play these games all the time. Okay, what are you accomplishing?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't.
What Hammer told me when he said put my phone up in the deal.
Okay, if you're choosing to write this down, how many?
Write this down.
I got it recorded, so you can always go back and watch it.
You can use W.
Probably one of the biggest issues on last exam. Okay.
Was too many people cheating?
Oh, too many people cheating?
No,
Oh,
I think it's the girls. I think I saw
Oh,
some girls
okay.
there cheating. That's an issue.
okay.
And teachers are like taking kids' study guides, so that doesn't help either.
Do you have your study guide?
I mean, I got it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay. So nothing affected you throughout the course of the day, did it?
It's for study hall to study.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to quickly add that in my head.
Okay. Let me ask you, what do you think might have been the biggest issue on there?
Diatomic elements.
Diatomic elements. How many, just enlighten me, how many times do you suppose we spent time on what, I'm not angry, I'm just pointing out what I observed. Okay? How many times do you suppose we spent time with diatomic molecules and elements?
Not very much.
So I hear too much and I hear not very much. So now, for those of you who are choosing not to write this down, then you need to do this for an evaluation. We don't know what we're doing. And maybe you can look at this and correlate it and understand it just like that. Some people can, some people can't. Okay?
Will it change the answer if the C is coming down from the second one?
Mm-hmm. Okay. If not, we're going to come back to this in just a moment, where you'll have that opportunity to do so.
I can't even find my pad yet. That's an issue. Might have to get a new one.
Okay, so think of this eraser or a sponge once it's dry. Okay, you need to clean something up whether it's a spill or any type of liquid, okay? Once you place that into the liquid, or you can picture a paper towel as well, what does all that liquid do? It goes all the way into the sponge until it's saturated, okay? So you could look at it this way. Can I use farming as an example? No? Okay. So with that, okay, this sponge is totally saturated. When that happens, can it hold more water? No, because it's saturated. You must do what with your eraser or sponge? Squeeze it to wring out all the water. Then once you do that, it is unsaturated now because it can hold more liquid. Okay? So that's what we're talking about here. Saturated hydrocarbons are single bonded and hold as many hydrogens as possible. Okay? That's hydrocarbons only. There could be halogens on there. There can be nitrogen atoms. There can be oxygen on there. Those are different organic families that we will be discussing in this chapter. And if we start to fall behind, it is extremely difficult to get caught up. I would picture that not everyone in here is like a University of Kansas.
I am.
Okay? Why would I say not everyone in here is like the University of Kansas?
Because they were down at 15 at halftime and they came back.
That's right. That is extremely tough to do. Okay? Now, as we go forward, we're trying to do our best to not only just teach you, but prepare you for your next step. Okay? So, I'm trying to do my job. Just please let me do that. Okay. Didn't think I needed to. You had the packet in front of you because you said you didn't have one, and I gave you one.
No, but where's this at kids that were gone yesterday?
What do you mean the kids that were gone?
Yo, I say you can go back to the science channel.
Do you want me to put back on the science channel?
What?
I can.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're offering. Only if you're offering.
So the important point behind this is we're not talking about isomers yet. Okay? So you need to be able to correlate this. Some of you have caught on to it. What happens once you get past carbon number 4? The geometrical shape. Okay? So that's what we mean. A pentagon, hexagon, heptagon. Of course, an octagon. And then a nonagon and a decagon.
Will we go
Is
much
decagon
in that class?
No. Okay?
Deck again, 10.
It is 10. Yep. All right. What you need to be concerned about is these are all alkanes. So what's a suffix in grammatically speaking? It's at the end of the word. What is a prefix then? Comes at the beginning. So each and every one of these are alkanes because they end in the suffix ane. That's not always going to be the case. All right. So we'll give you a couple more moments. Okay. Each and every one of these compounds is saturated because how many bonds can carbon have? Each and every one of those carbon atoms has 4 bonds, whether it's to a hydrogen atom or whether it is to another carbon atom. At least 4. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to want to do is find your parent chain. That's what you do every time. Find the longest continuous chain. This is a straight one. This one is a branched one. Okay, So how many carbons do we see? Okay. So what is the prefix? Or you want to start backwards or you want to go forwards? Okay. So what is the prefix for 5 carbons? This is pentane. This is your family. That is the number of carbons that you have. Notice there's nothing coming in front of that letter P for pentane because it's just a straight chain. Okay? And I'm not going to say pick on your brother. I'm just mentioning him. It is, I don't like math, but I'm really good at it. Okay? So, since there's nothing in front of here, okay, it's just a straight chain. Nothing is branching off of there. Okay. Remember what we said. Find your longest continuous chain first. And in this case, how many carbons is that? It's 4. Okay? Is this saturated? Branched and saturated are 2 different concepts. What that means is there any more bonds in any of these carbons that they can hold another bond? No. Okay? So what is the family name for single bonds? What's the suffix? It is. And how many carbons are in this parent chain? Okay, so what's that prefix? Okay, now, when we look at that, we have to say, okay, it's not a straight chain because something is branching off of that. Okay, so in honor of today's first day of a tournament, the Masters it's a golf tournament down in Augusta, Georgia. What is the goal for any golfer on any given hole? Get the lowest score. Okay? So with that, sometimes you read left to right. Sometimes you read right to left. Okay? So with that, if we go left to right, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. But if we go right to left instead, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Does everyone understand what it is we're doing? We're going in opposite directions. Okay? So what is the lowest combination that something is branching off of one of the carbons? Is it 2 or 3?
2.
It's 2. 2 is smaller than 3, correct?
So it has to be a smaller one?
Right. That's why we said in honor of golf. Okay? Because if you go this way, it's 3. If you go this way, it's 2. 2 is smaller than 3. Okay? Okay. Then it doesn't matter which way you go. When you say that, for instance, now it's right in the middle. Okay? You could say that's 3-methylpentane going that way or 3-methylpentane going back that way. But it's not, it's butane. Sorry? The smallest one. We haven't got that far yet. Oh, okay. If you want me to go about that, okay. Okay. We just want the answer. That's just what you told me. Okay? You just wanted the answer. Nobody's right. You just said, what's the answer? I just told you the answer.
Oh, because it goes over 2 and then it goes.
Okay?
Oh my gosh.
Who wants to know how you do this? Okay? So, from prior knowledge. Okay? We're basing this off of prior knowledge. Okay? What are the symbols for these 4 elements? What's the symbol for iodine? Okay? And as a review, it's a halogen. Okay? Indolium, I wouldn't expect you to know that, but it's IN. Iridium. Okay? Okay? And notice you can't use the letter I. You can't use the letter IR. You can't use the letter IN. And they don't call it IO. Maybe. Okay? Because the Latin word for iron is ferrous. Okay? So, in other words, let's say you're cleaning up. Okay? Let's say, for instance, you want to look for different little pieces of metal. Okay? If it is a ferrous metal, that means it sticks to the magnet. If you have a magnet with an aluminum can, aluminum's quite a ways away from iron. So since that's a non-ferrous metal, it will not stick to the magnet. That's what they mean by non-ferrous metals. If it doesn't stick to the magnet, go ahead and recycle it. But iron, since of course that means it's a ferrous metal, it will stick to the magnet. So what that means is ferrous or iron is derived from the Latin term ferrous. Okay? And if it is +2, it's ferrous, and if it's +3, it's ferric, but you don't need to know that. Okay? That's a little too far above and beyond what you need to know. We just want you to know that Fe means ferrous. It's derived. It comes from the Latin term. Okay? So in this case, this formula right here, this is a carbon-to-carbon bond. Okay? If we just draw this only, 1 carbon with 4 hydrogens, it's natural gas. The simplest hydrocarbon is called what? Methane. Okay? But notice,
What's carbon by itself?
carbon. Okay? But in this case, remember, this is carbon to hydrogen. This is carbon to carbon. So this has a formula of CH3. Okay? So methyl is derived from the term methane. Just like ferrous, or excuse me, the term ferrous is derived from the Latin term for iron. Okay? It means it's where it comes from. That's what derived means. Okay? So since CH3 is derived from methane, that's why they call it methyl. That's all you need to know. That every time you see CH3, it is a methyl group. That's all you need to know about it.
How do you find CH3 then?
Okay? When I put this in the box, that's got a formula of CH3, right?
Yeah, but it's not telling you that, so how are you going to find that?
Because we're telling you that's what it means. Okay?
Yeah,
So,
when it gets to your exam, how are you going to know that?
because with practice, you're going to get better at it.
How are you gonna get better when you like switch everything up?
How are we switching things up?
Well, it's not like the definitions are different than in the book or anything. That's just definitions.
Okay? That's your.
Even if you cheat using a book on it, you'll still not
Okay, so methyl is derived from methane. Okay? The only reason that this maybe seems a little difficult is because it's the first time you've seen this. Okay?
Do you have to write it like that?
Mm-hmm.
Have we solved it yet?
We have.
Oh, it's just, okay.
Okay? So one of the things to keep in mind is molecular formulas are abbreviated. Structural formulas are quite a bit larger. What that means, okay, is I wanted to do these two first. How many carbons do we have? 5. Okay. How many hydrogens do you have?
0.
1, 2. It's atomic.
Okay. There's a hydrogen. There's a hydrogen above. There's a hydrogen below. Okay. So every time you see that, what's 5 times 2?
10.
And then one on each end. There you go. There's 12. Okay? Now, with this example, how many carbons do you see? 5.
21, I think.
How many hydrogens do you see?
12.
There you go.
No, because you have an extra one. You have 13.
Okay?
Are you positive?
All right. So let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 3 gives you what? Just what we have here. Okay? These have the exact same molecular formulas, but what's different between these? The structure. The structure is different. Okay? All right. So left side and left middle.
Decent.
Not really.
Just left side.
Okay? Left middle.
I get sent to Everest, it'd probably do that.
Okay? Middle.
Both kind of shaking over here.
Middle. Right side.
Ow!
Right side. If you are nodding your head yes, you're telling me that you understand. Some of you said,
I'm just nodding so you don't get mad.
oh, okay. Now, for this bottom one, okay, what is your parent chain? Your longest continuous chain.
8.
Okay, so what is the parent name for 8 carbons? Okay. If there was nothing branching off of this, it would be just called octane. Okay? So, with this, if we go left to right, what? Carbon's 18. I bet you might have 18 hydrogens. Yes.
How many spark plugs are in a diesel?
Hmm.
A V8 one.
A V8? Okay. I'm going to go with a goose egg. Okay.
What?
Why that?
So 1. But the V8s are different than the
There's your parent chain. 8, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get 7.
But that's if you go left to right.
You got 7 now.
Okay? But if we go right to left,
You know it's gonna be 3.
okay? Going left to right, we have derivatives on 3 and 7. Okay? Okay? What happens if we go right to left? We've got 2 and 6. Which one gives you a smaller combination?
Where'd you get the...
Okay. So that means this compound is called 2, okay? Because there's a methyl group right here. Remember, CH3 means methyl, okay? CH3 means methyl, okay? But there is more than one methyl group on here. There's 2, okay? 2, 6, okay? Okay? Then, as we proceed forward, when you have more than one derivative, you have to say di, tri, tetra, penta, okay? So we only go up to 3, okay? We don't get past trimethyl. Right. So di means 2, okay? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay? Because this is on the second carbon, right? This methyl group is on the second carbon, right? Okay? This methyl group is on the 6th carbon, right?
How do you tell if this group? Oh yeah, why don't you pick the smallest number?
If you, so like say if you go from this way, then you'd have to keep with your 1, 2, 3 going that way, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay? So having 2 derivatives means you have to put di. So dimethyl. Okay? And what happens, you can reverse engineer this. What we mean is say, this is your organic family. An alkane means that it is saturated. There are no more bonds that it can hold. It's all just carbon and hydrogen. What does OCT mean? 8. And it's got 8 right here. It's all saturated. Okay? What is the formula for a methyl group? Right here, CH3. Okay? And okay? What does di mean? Okay? This means there's 2 methyl groups. They're located on the 2nd and 6th carbons. That's how you reverse engineer that. 2, 6 dimethyl octane. Okay.
Why do you need to put that 2, 6 in front of the dimethyl?
Mm-hmm. You have to tell where they're located.
But then why didn't we do it on the one up there?
Because there's only one derivative on here. This one. This one's got there and there. There's 2. Yes? This here? Yep. This is a molecular formula. This is a structural formula. They mean the same thing.
What are the different groups? What do you mean by like 6 and 2 are?
They're located on different carbons. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but are you
Some of the girls can have their phones, but we can't have ours.
Do you have your phone?
No, it's my Apple Watch.
Okay.
I could say I don't have my phone, but I could.
You want me to show you my phone to charge?
Yeah, do it.
That'd be lovely.
Why are you
Wow.
grabbing my phone? Whoa, that's mine!
Okay.
Wow, now this is the move.
Please don't fall behind on this. Yes. The smallest combination.
I've been behind right when you first.
Okay. We went left to right. We numbered them in. The top one's going left to right. Okay? If you go that way, left to right, okay? You have on the 3rd carbon and the 7th carbon. Okay? That's 3 and 7. But if you go right to left, okay, they're located on 2nd and 6th instead. This combination is smaller than that one. Okay?
But how do you know which one to stop on?
Yes.
When you're drawing like the CH3, why do
Okay, are you talking about this here? Are you talking about this here? Okay, this means the same as, that's also a methyl group.
That's the same thing as the H.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
Go left to right or right to left? Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, I'm more lost than freaking.
Okay. So, I'm going to stop this now. And you can always go back and see the examples on the Science Channel. We'll catch up to you next time because we're going to look at what's called the secrets of oil.